So when normal people are sleeping, what do the rest of us do? Well, I, for one, look to answer questions about what's going on. This video is going to go off into a deep end of conspiracy, to say the least. I am going to leave a lot of links in the description box like I usually do. And I think you'll follow my pattern into the rabbit hole. You know, people will throw out and say Soros is behind a lot of things, and let's take a look. I'm going to start at the end of where I'm going to leave it. And this is a WikiLeaks, which is dated back November the 16th, 2011. The rabbit trail that I've been following along this evening is so convoluted that if I begin to even try to explain it, I know I'm going to just lose everyone, including myself. So I guess maybe I should take notes with it, but fuck it, I'm not going to do that. It's too much fucking time to do it. Follow my links in the description box. Basically, let's look at the Las Vegas shooter, Mr. Paddock, who was alleged to make his millions in real estate. He also has a history working at the predecessor of Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin, which is tied to Comey, the former FBI director, who has ties to the defense, looking into the Clintons and Bridgewater and Blackwater and Eric Holder and arms sales. Links in the description box for all of this that I'm saying. Which brings us to a very interesting person who was very close to Comey, also tied to real estate, who won numerous awards for his altruism. And you have to think all the time, opposite day. It's always opposite day. It's always opposite day. Bridgewater, and I never heard of this community before, ever. It's pretty fascinating. Some of the links are closed down now. Most of them are still up. But in essence, it's just billions and billions of dollars and lots of people, like a little city-state nearby Connecticut, where everybody just works to learn about behavioral experimentation. Yeah, no kidding. Should I read you the exact? Ray Dalio, tied to Comey. And I'll post this link, Principles by Ray Dalio. It doubles as a hedge fund. WikiLeaks email. I enclosed today Bridgewater's daily. For those of you who do not know, Bridgewater is the world's largest and most successful hedge fund company. It says not Soros, who is also tied and linked into this whole thing. Bridgewater is highly secretive and unnaturally successful. Today's post, which I attach, outlines their plan forward for Europe. This is dated November the 16th, 2011. Although highly detailed and articulate, I think the note highlights the rather linear outlook most market participants have in consideration of political factors in their analysis. As can be read in their detailed plan B-1, they expect the entire PIIGS region to default and experience a 50% haircut across the board. The focus of bailout money would then go to banks and insurance companies, ? Explanation ? How divorced from political reality is that? I find their explanation of why EFSF leverage strategy will not work more valuable than their expected course of events. The chart on P10 is particularly interesting. Now, this is an email found in WikiLeaks, okay? And link is in the description box. There's multiple. The key is to look into this Bridgewater, how it is tied to real estate investment, how it is tied to Comey, how Comey is tied to the Clintons, and how all of this really relates back to some lone gunmen who just happen to be with all of these very expensive and specific pieces of artillery in a hotel room in Vegas, where he would frequently go and spend buku money on just, slots with his 90-year-old mom. And in reading through some of these articles, you see that this guy here is portrayed as a good guy. They go out of their way to portray him as a good guy. I'm very curious as to that. It's about the money. Real estate money, arms money. I wonder if Mr. Paddock was ever part of this Bridgewater community. I'm really curious about that. I'm still looking into these things. I guess while I did look at the pragmatics of cab location and how many gunmen and so forth, because I know it's fucking wrong what they're telling us, right? I know it is. So while I'm looking at that, someone mentioned something, a couple people like, well, why? Well, this is why I'm looking at this. Why? Yeah, why is that? Why? And as I'm looking at that for why, and I see all of these things come up, this goes back. He was conspiracy. I need to put a header on this. Yes, it's this fucking conspiracy. I mean, I'm not like, in with these people. I can't like fucking ask them questions. I'm not a private investigator, right? I can just look and see how all of these things overlap. And you want to know what? Where I kind of started off with it, which was kind of funny, is like, the tie-ins with things. Okay, for example, Richard Alarcon, who was a former California senator. Yeah, he happened to, former California state senator Richard Alarcon, who had gotten his start as a student body president for their high school in 1971, great year, posted a note to friends on Facebook saying that he remembered playing basketball with Paddock at a neighborhood court. Follow that trail, and guess what I find out? I find out that Mr. Alarcon, like many politicians, had gotten in lots of trouble for voter fraud. Miraculously, those charges were thrown out, and then he decided to run for office. There's your protection. You have these people that commit like a lot of perjury, fraud, crime, that would typically put people to shame and not even to try. No, they have someone behind them pushing them to continue to go forward, you see. Well, his convictions were overturned, and so he was going to run again as a Democrat. Just saying. All these links are in the description box. So, how does that tie in? Oh, well, that ties in because he's tied into the shooter and to Comey for his position. And from 1976 to 1985, Paddock worked for the federal government at the Postal Service and an agent for the IRS as an auditor for the U.S. government's Defense Contract Audit Agency. Boy, that's fucking glamorous, isn't it? That's a great title. He was an auditor for the United States government's Defense Contract Audit Agency. Well, now, rubbing hands with that job and ex-senators from California, which rub elbows with Comey, who rub elbows with people that set up go billion-dollar communities to do and study behavioral. Gosh, I want to use the exact terminology because it was choice. The exact terminology. A $94 billion human behavioral experiment that doubles as a Connecticut-based hedge fund. Fucking MK Ultra. Do you not see that? I mean, yeah, I'm the crazy one. You guessed it. That's right. I'm the crazy one. But it's like I'm looking at a word list that I can put all together, and it's going to tell me the story. And it spans decades. And these people are running corners. This guy, they want to pass off as just some little random accountant somewhere. Just like to gamble. How many random people do you know that's connected to all these same people that are in and out of the political crime syndicate? Yeah, I don't know any. So that's my crazy for this evening. Have at it. I'm not saying exactly how this all comes together, but yeah, I feel like there's definite connections between all of this. Anyway, just making a video on that to get something done. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Have a good night.